It's not a password, not a random number. It's the symbol of a dream that started on the streets of Rocafonda, a small, forgotten neighborhood near Barcelona, a place where more than half the people live below the poverty line, a place where the sound of a bouncing football echoes between gray buildings, and among those echoes, a skinny little boy began shaping his destiny. Lamine Yamal. When people talk about talent, they think of luck, gifts, or genetics. But what they forget is that talent means nothing without heart. And in Rocafonda, that's all Yamal had. A heart full of fire and a ball at his feet. He would spend hours kicking that ball against the walls of apartment blocks, dodging puddles, playing barefoot, smiling even when the concrete scraped his knees. The older kids couldn't believe what they saw. The way he moved, the way he dribbled. It wasn't normal. Every time the ball stuck to his left foot, the neighborhood stopped to watch. That's how legends begin. Not in stadiums, but in the streets. Lamine was born on July 13th, 2007 in Esplugues de Llobregat, just outside Barcelona. His mother, Sheila, came from Equatorial Guinea and worked long hours as a waitress. His father, Munir, was a Moroccan house painter, humble, hardworking, and obsessed with football. He didn't have much money, but he had big dreams for his son. One day, Munir heard about a raffle organized by FC Barcelona. The prize, a chance to take a photo with Lionel Messi. He entered, and he won. That day, baby Lamine Yamal, barely old enough to walk, was placed in Messi's arms for a picture. No one knew it then, but that photo would become iconic. A symbolic passing of the torch between the greatest of all time and the kid who would one day carry the future of Barca on his shoulders. As Yamal grew up, life wasn't easy. Money was tight, racism was real, and opportunities were few. But he had one constant: his family, especially his grandmother, who had left Morocco alone to start a better life in Spain. She worked tirelessly, took care of everyone, and never stopped believing in her grandson's talent. Her love was his anchor, her faith his fuel. At a very young age, Lamine joined a small local club, La Torreta, and from the first training session, coaches knew he wasn't like the others. One of them even picked up the phone and called Barcelona directly, saying, "I've got a kid here. You need to see this with your own eyes." A Barca scout came to watch. That day, Yamal started on the bench. The young Barca team was losing 2-0. Then the coach told him to warm up. Within minutes, he scored 3 goals, a hat trick. The scout didn't need to see more. Lamine Yamal was signed to La Masia, the most famous football academy in the world. At just 7 years old, people said the pressure would crush him. That training alongside the best young players in the world would be too much. But they didn't know Lamine. He didn't just survive. He thrived. At La Masia, he was unstoppable. He flew through the ranks, skipping age groups, embarrassing older defenders, and making coaches question what they were witnessing. His vision, his dribbling, his left foot. Pure magic. Everyone knew they were watching something special. At age 12, he left home to live full-time at La Masia. It was tough being away from family, but he focused on football and nothing else. Then came 2020. The world shut down. The pandemic hit hard. Youth matches were canceled, and Yamal went almost a year without playing. Many young players lost motivation during that time, but not him. He trained in his room, in his hallway, wherever he could find space. Because when you come from nothing, you never stop chasing everything. When football returned, Yamal came back sharper than ever. He was selected for Spain's U16 national team, played 4 matches, and scored his first goal in red. Spain had found their new wonder kid. Back at Barca, coaches made an important decision. They moved him from a false 9 to right wing. That single change unlocked his full potential. It gave him space, freedom, and the chance to destroy defenders one-on-one. He became electric. At just 15 years old, Xavi, yes, the Xavi, called him to train with Barcelona's first team. Not even Lionel Messi did that at 15. 2 seasons of 11-a-side football, and he was already training alongside Lewandowski, Pedri, Gavi, players he used to watch on TV. It was unreal. Everyone in the locker room saw it immediately. The kid wasn't normal. He wasn't intimidated. He wasn't nervous. He just played. Calm, confident, fearless. But success didn't come without setbacks. The Moroccan Football Federation approached him, trying to convince him to play for their national team. It was a tough choice. His father's homeland or the country where he was born and raised. After a lot of thinking, Yamal chose Spain. A difficult decision for a 16-year-old, but one that defined his path. Then came a small contro.